third Isaiah Likely O-meter question. J.K. Dobbins tops 1,500 total yards.
Rich, you want to take this half back?
Listen,
half point question.
I love J.K. Dobbins, and I think he's a super talented player. He's already kind of talking smack about wanting to being paid, whatnot. Like, I don't know how that's all going to kind of come into fruition. I know it's a knee cleanup, but 1,500 total yards, that's a lot of yards. Definitely when we don't know how much involved. For a running back that I think is very viable in the passing game, you're not a guy who's really caught almost no footballs in the NFL. Even though I think he can do that. Like, he has not shown he can do that. So I would say this is about a 3. And I'm saying that because, like, I really do like the player, and I definitely think it's possible. But, I mean, a great rushing year is 1,400 yards. That's fantastic. You know what I mean? I don't know how or even if he'll be used in the passing game, so I have to go with a low number here in 3. If it was a player I didn't like, I'd be back with the Russell Wilson situation, but I love him so much, I'm bumping up to a 3.
Listen, I think him in a different offense, I think that would be a number that he can achieve. I think with Lamar Jackson stealing rushing yards from him and not really being a guy that gets running backs heavily involved in the passing game in any kind of, like, I guess, with any kind of consistency. I think that's going to be tough to do. I think he's probably going to be closer to a 1,200 yard guy, total yards, if he stays healthy and everything works out well. 1,500 yards it would be amazing, and I have him on some teams, and I would love that to happen. But I really think it's highly unlikely. I think I'm going to go probably 1.5 to 1.5, half point. Yep.
I had a hard time with this one because 1,500 is a lofty number, and because the tricky part is we do have an extra game now than we had before. So some of these higher rushing totals are slightly more achievable with that extra game. He was averaging, once he came back from getting the knee cleanup, he was averaging right around 100 yards per game. He was getting a good amount of rushing attempts per game, 15, 13, 12, 17. So he was getting the work. But you're right. The receiving aspect of this is the tricky part. So I think he would have to get around 1,300 to 1,350 in the rushing yard department to be able to hit this mark. While I think that's possible, I don't know that I would necessarily say it's probable. So I'm going to go with about a 4. I think it's about a 4 for me on we'll go 3.5 to 4 since I can use the half points.
Yeah.
3.5 to 4 would probably be the range, because if there's somebody that could do it on limited carries, if he has his old explosiveness back, I think he's one of those guys that could, because remember, these 100 and 125 yard games where he had a long in that game of 44 rushing yards, 37 rushing yards. All of a sudden, those are 65-yard touchdowns, 75-yard touchdowns, as opposed to getting caught from behind because he just wasn't 100%. So a couple of those breakaway runs look a little different this year. It could put him at a close pace to hit that 1,500 total yard mark.
Yeah, I can 100% see him doing it. Like, I feel like I like the player a ton, and I can easily see him doing it. It's just there's so much, like, unknown there. Like, I can't say the odds are great, like you said, but, like, I think he does it.
Telling me there's a chance. All right,
I'm a lot lower than him, obviously, than either one, and it's not talent.
We're all under 4, so
yeah, none of us are overly optimistic.